Welcome. Welcome, souls in the sanctuary and souls in the ethers. Welcome to San Francisco Unity's Shelter in Grace. I'm going to begin with a poem by M. Clare about surrender. It's called Any God. We surrender to our hands, finally, to what has been done by our hands. We surrender to a life that shows up on them, all the grooves and the lines of the map of our body, the creases of disappointment, the crow's feet of joy. We surrender to everything we thought we could manage, and to those things we now understand we can't. And finally, we surrender to something higher, something deeper, not because we are convinced, but mostly because we are tired. Tired of playing at God, weary of warring with ourselves, dusty from the many fields of confusion and the countless crossroads of regret. And so finally, we surrender to what is, and to what was, and to any God who will still have us. The name of this meditation, it's about surrender and understanding. I call it a divine quantum understanding, because spiritual understanding is quantum. We are entangled and we are connected and within an order that we cannot see, all within a Newtonian world which we can see of appearances. We are unfolding within a higher order of divine goodness. It's a quantum understanding of faith, because how else can we understand and accept that there is nothing but love and grace on the other side? Today is still the holy month of Ramadan. Islam means surrender. And last week I talked about how there is nothing but love and goodness on the other side, and how important it is to accept that, and how impossible it is to accept that. I quoted the question of 1,000 years Hafez asked 1,000 years ago. There is nothing you have ever done that is not innocent. How can you accept such knowledge? This week, I wanted to talk a little bit about from the new booklet by Unity, which is How to Stay Centered No Matter What. Very interesting, 12 Powers stuff. But it's talking about Reverend Evan Wilkins talks about understanding, and he mentions that this understanding that we are spiritual beings living in a human body, having a human experience. It's really kind of impossible to hold both of those understandings together. But he says that life is this understanding, which is interesting. And he quotes Proverbs, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." We have, as humans, a legacy of misunderstandings from our parents, from the misunderstandings of our ancestry. Like, life is not supposed to be fair. Don't trust them. Only trust yourself. These are misunderstandings. But when we hold both, that we are asked to have a more spiritual understanding, and it is quantum. It's that hard to imagine that we are all innocent here. And all we have to do is receive that forgiveness. We are ripening. We are unfolding to new understandings because God is still talking to us and we are still listening. Life is this understanding, a divine order of goodness, a quantum understanding of faith. Let's take that into our meditation today. That impossible understanding that we are already forgiven. Let's take our first breath of gratitude. Breathe it in through the heart, breathe it in. Hold it. Let it light you up. And exhale. We use 3 superpowers in this sound meditation. Sound, because we are sound. And we listen as practice. We listen and allow the beauty of the sound to amend us, because we choose the higher. When we drop down, we use gratitude, because gratitude changes everything. It turns what we have into enough. And we supercharge both of them with our breath, our first and last taste of this world. Let's breathe it in right now. Breathe in gratitude through the heart. Breathe it in. Whatever's up for you today, let it light you up on the cellular level. And exhale. Continue returning to center. Using your breath, using gratitude, and aligning to the higher vibration here. Welcoming it all, not making any of it wrong. We drop down. Find yourself drifting. Gather yourself back to center. Drop down. Drop down to that peaceful place within that always waits. Surrender. Because there is nothing but love and mercy on the other side. Drop down. Trust. We surrender our hands, finally, to what has been done by our own hands. We surrender to a life that shows up on them, to the grooves and the lines of the map of our body, to the creases of disappointment and the crow's feet of joy. We surrender to everything we thought we could manage, and to those things we now understand that we can't. And finally, we surrender to something higher, something deeper, not because we are convinced, but mostly because we are tired. Tired of playing God, weary of warring with ourselves, dusty from the many fields of confusion and the countless crossroads of regret. And so finally, we surrender to what is, and to what was, and to any God who will still have us. home. We remember this place of deep spiritual understanding, where we are understood, where we are seen and safe and loved. This place of peace under the turbulence of the Newtonian world. In the deep, mystical experience of the quantum, the spiritual. We remember this place where we are the gardeners of our lives. We remember this place. And so it is. I'm ending with another poem by M. Clare about love. Everything love needs is just for us to keep growing, because the work of the soul is never done. Life is never done. God is never done. Love is never done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Blessings on your next moment, on your afternoon, on this sermon, on this sanctuary, on your week. Thank you.